What is up, guys? Today I'm going to do a video. I picked out my favorite album from each band of the big four thrash metal, and also the big three of the outside of the big four. We all know what that is. Probably Exodus, Testament, and Overkill. If it's not, it should be. And and also this video was kind of inspired by, I've been doing some obscure stuff, so I felt like I needed to do something a little more common for the people that might not be a collector like I am. And Jonathan Guerra, if you're watching, this is probably a video that you might like pretty well, maybe. So let's get started. I got my CDs here. We will start with the big four. Okay, let's do biggest first. Metallica. Master of Puppets, without a doubt, would have to be my favorite Metallica album. Why? It's just perfect. It's got everything I like about Metallica in one album. This album was a life changer for me. It actually was one of the few albums that really made me appreciate melody, guitar harmonies, and just stuff and just song arrangements in general. The songs are heavy, that they're well written. The drums are even good. Hey, say what you want about Lars, but the dude come up with some really cool ideas that really they might have been simple, but they worked good. Just everything about this album is just perfect. This is what perfect sounds like. And I've heard some people say they don't really like the production that much compared to other Metallica albums, but honestly, I like it. It's really thick. It's heavy. I like everything about this album. All right, now let's go second. Megadeth, Rust in Peace. This album is just pretty much perfect for Megadeth. It's, I like Peace Sells a lot too, but that album feels a bit short. This album, it feels like one of the more complete Megadeth albums. It's longer. It's perfect. I mean, there's no weak stuff on here. Dawn Patrol is kind of a pointless little bass track, but even it, don't drag it down in any way. I mean, I still like it for what it is, even if it's utterly pointless. The riffs are amazing. The production is amazing. I mean, the stuff that they do on here, it's almost like jazz metal. I mean, it's just nuts. And it's one of the reasons why Dave Mustaine is one of the coolest guitarists there ever was. This features Marty Friedman, one of the best lead guitarists that's ever lived. So yeah, I mean, this is just an absolute storm of just guitar mania, in my opinion. Next, yes, I'm a Christian, but I have to be honest. Slayer, Show No Mercy. This was kind of a life-changing album for me too. Just finding something outside of Metallica surprised me, and this album right here is Slayer perfection, in my opinion. I mean, I like Rain and Blood, but personally, it's kind of a one-trick pony. It's fast. It's got some cool riffs, but this right here is actually really good songwriting. The solos are good. I mean, everybody talks about how bad Kerry King's solos are, and that the solos in general are just a bunch of random notes that aren't even in key sometimes. This right here actually sounds really good. It's kind of like an evil Kill 'Em All. They came out the same year as Kill 'Em All. So, and actually Tom somewhat tries to sing on this. I mean, the vocals are actually even pretty decent. Sounds kind of like new wave of British heavy metal sped up. A lot of this is just evil for the sake of being evil. I mean, we all know that they're, Tom's a Catholic, the rest of them are atheists. I mean, so you know what I mean? It's just some ridiculous heavy metal, really. but the songs are good. I mean, freaking Metal Storm, Face the Slayer. I mean, it's just freaking, it's one of the best songs ever. But this is why I like this album over the other Slayer albums the most. I like all the old Slayer albums, but this one just shows that they actually can do more than just play fast and shred your face off. But anyway, next, Anthrax. You know, there's some people that think Anthrax shouldn't be part of the Big Four and should be replaced. I don't know. I would probably put like Testament or Overkill in the Big Four, but that's just me. But no, I like Anthrax pretty well. This album is probably my favorite, Spreading the Disease. I just love this album. It's just 80s written all over it. You know, it's just, it's almost like there's thrash, but there's also like some traditional metal, and almost tries to go into power metal in a way sometimes. It's kind of cool. It's pretty melodic. And of course, the song Madhouse, like, I remember hearing that on Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and that was before I ever bought this CD, and I remember thinking, this song is awesome. I have to get an Anthrax CD if this is what it sounds like. And so that song's always kind of gave me good memories of playing that game and being fresh into a lot of, metal and learning about it. But yeah, I mean, pretty much everything on this album for the most part is pretty good. Honestly, I don't think there's anything I don't like. It's all good. So yeah. Oh, and the reason why I picked this one too is I feel like it's one of the more complete albums. I mean, I do like Among the Living, but I feel like some of it could be a little obnoxious the way they do their gang shouts and stuff sometimes. I mean, I don't know, but I still like it. So, but this one right here is just up my alley completely. All right, that's the Big Four. Let's go to the outside of the Big Four and do the Big Three. We'll start with Overkill. Under the Influence. You know, some people consider this like the weak Overkill album from the 80s, and I don't understand what they're talking about. I think this one's the best. I mean, it's the craziest. It's absolutely just out of the box nuttiness. Like the riffs are all over the place. The songs are just all over the place. Like, you just don't know what to expect from one song to the next. But it's well done. It's not like it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. It's just nutty. Like, I just think the creativity on here is really good. It's very thrashy. I just love the way it sounds. I love the way the bass, you can hear the bass in it. Of course, Bobby Blitz is an awesome singer on here. I like his voice a lot. I don't know. I just think this whole thing is awesome. But so I don't know what people are talking about. A lot of people seem to like the Years of Decay better, and I'm like, dude, no, this one, man, this one. But all right, next, Testament. My case is kind of cracked here. This is definitely, I put some miles on this one. This is one of my top favorite thrash albums of all time, for definitely. So the debut Testament album, The Legacy, man, this is just the best thing Testament ever did, in my opinion. I like other Testament albums. I like the first four. Well, I like the first four. I even like The Ritual for being even a sellout album, and I like Low. But after that, it's kind of rocky for me. But yeah, but this one right here, man, like, this has got everything I like about Testament on it. The songs are crazy. They're thrashy. One of the few Testament albums where the songs actually kind of have a lot of different parts in it, like a lot of different riffs and changes, which Testament didn't really do a whole lot after this. It's like with each album, they kind of did less and less of that, which I don't get. But the solos are amazing. Alex Skolnick's got a couple of my favorite solos on here, like Over the Wall and First Strike is Deadly. The only thing about this album that might be questionable is the production. Yeah, the production sucks, But you want to know something? It's not the kind of sucky production that makes me not want to listen to it. It's the type of sucky production that actually adds to it, in my opinion. It makes it sound so raw. And at least you can hear what's going on. It can get a little muddy during some of the fast parts, but like, I don't care. Like, it is so good. This album is just so mean and still very musical at the same time. And Chuck Billy, this is, to me, this is Chuck Billy at its best. I mean, he does some high screams and all kinds of stuff that he really didn't do a whole lot after this. So, yeah, man. Yeah, this is definitely one of my top favorite albums of all time. And last, but not least, Exodus, Bonded by Blood. You know what? I hate to say this, but of all the American thrash bands, I know I'm going to get some hate for this. Exodus is one of my least favorites of the American thrash metal. And guys, I like Exodus. I'm not saying I dislike Exodus, but to be honest with you, other than this album, I'm not really that crazy about Exodus. Like, I like them, but this right here, though, this is one of the best thrash metal albums of all time, by far, in my opinion. It's so raw, and Paul Bailoff, I mean, he's an absolute maniac on here. He sounds like he means it when he's singing on here. He's out for blood. And the riffs are just freaking in your face, man. Like, I don't know what it is. And this is not like one of those thrash albums. It's not like a million mile an hour, but it's so violent. It just is. And I like every track on here. I don't know what else to say. I just feel like after this album, like Pleasures of the Flesh, don't get me wrong, I like Pleasures of the Flesh, but it doesn't give me the same energy that this one does. It's still good. And I like Steve Salza, but I mean, Steve Salza actually sang for Testament originally, and I've heard him sing on the the demos, and I think he would have been great for that. But just for Exodus, it's just the direction of the music. I don't know how to explain this, but Exodus kind of seems like a band that's just like a bunch of random riffs. Let's just put a bunch of random riffs in a pile and just, well, that's fast and it's heavy, so we'll just use it. I mean, I don't know. That probably doesn't make any sense, but this one right here, I feel like the songs just have such purpose. Like, they all just do something. They just light a fire with me, like, instantly. So, but yeah, that's Exodus, Bonded by Blood. And, there's other thrash bands out there, American thrash bands, that I would like to talk about, but I'll maybe do it for another video. Like, I could have put, Flotsam and Jetsam. Honestly, I don't know if I have a favorite, because there's a couple albums, the first two were kind of equal to me, and Nuclear Assault, I don't know. I feel like all their old albums were kind of equal too. I don't know. But there's a lot of good American thrash metal bands, but I figure I'll just talk about the bigger ones first. But that's it. I might do some more videos like this. It's kind of fun. But anyways, stay metal. Till next time.